Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello. Good. It's better now. Yeah, it's funny. Sorry for being late. Like my business got hacked like 2 hours ago. So it was like
Oh my gosh.
so I was on the phone with my clients, like messaging Google and listening to death metal and writing interview questions like on a split screen situation.
Oh
That's
my
super so
gosh.
that's super funny. That's metal, right? It's like a
Yeah,
pretty good metal situation.
yeah, it's that
So
new age metal.
yeah, very good. Oh God, that really is new age metal. Isn't that awful?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh
There's
man.
there's so many different layers of like new metal. Like now we have like maybe COVID metal, um, hacking metal, like all these things. I don't know.
Internet metal.
Yeah, internet metal for sure. Yeah, we got that. So
Yeah,
you are my metal drummer friend from Instagram. So love your
I am.
posts. Love being friends with you on Instagram. I mean, it's all
Awesome.
we've been able to do with
Yeah,
COVID, right?
yeah, everything got moved online. I mean, it was that way kind of before, but it just really got like pushed all the way online, you know? So,
I do. I had
yeah.
to try and figure out TikTok. So
I'm not even messing with that. I got all the platforms I can handle right
I
now.
know. Yeah. I was trying to make a joke because I was just trying to make sure my volume was all the way up in case that
Mhm.
made a difference and I exited out of the app. So if that's not like proof of exactly what you're talking about, like I can't handle anymore.
Yeah, right.
That's even more than what you're talking about. So that's funny. So how's your day been? We talked about mine.
Oh, um, it's been good. I mean, I among getting ready for this next tour, I've moved my whole apartment across my courtyard. So I've been getting basically in between my rehearsal and all that. I've been trying to put things away. So I've been a busy bee. And fun little tidbit. On the last tour, we got our van windshield replaced, and all the sealant around the corners, it all started coming loose. So we took it back. We took it back today and actually made them fix it. So hopefully our windshield doesn't fall in on us.
Yeah, I had to deal with that recently too. Apparently, Safelite is like the only company that will like actually guarantee everything.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know, but I think they're like double the price. I don't know. I just had to deal with that. With all the rain, I got a 2 inch crack in my windshield. And
Mhm.
then I had an appointment to get it fixed the next day for like
Yeah.
$80. And all the crazy rain we've been having, it made the 2 inch go from that to like a foot and a half that like forced me to replace the entire thing. So like
Jeez.
the weather and that rain that we're all seeing, like
Yeah.
it made it go from like 80 to 800. It was so
Yeah. Yeah. The weather in Texas is brutal.
it's really weird. Like I live in the middle of the city in Austin,
Yeah.
and I have a patio, so you can really see like the hill country. But I'm like in the middle of the city, but I just have like a cool patio with a view.
That's
So
cool.
you just open it up, but you I've never seen the wildest weather and like the wildest thunder in my life. It's like it really this year it's been like wild. It's been
Wow.
yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Good inspiration for metal.
Nice.
But let's start getting to questions while everyone is here. So, out of the gate, first question: metal music saves lives. Agree or disagree?
Agreed. It totally does. I can't tell you how many times we've had fans come up to us and tell us that our music has literally saved their life. Like they were, they were contemplating suicide. A lot of people had guns in their mouths at one point, and something about our music pulled them away from that. You know, like it's depression's a really brutal thing, and Scott writes a lot about it. I know a lot of people can relate to it, and hopefully we win more battles than we lose, because we have lost, we do have fans who have lost a battle, and it's pretty, like, it hurts to hear, but we're excited that we are able to help people with, the music that we write.
Mm-hmm. And I think I definitely have questions like later on, because I like wrote out questions for it. So I definitely have like questions addressing like little bits and parts of that. But I've been to 2 Carnifex shows in my life, and I can't wait to go to more. I'm really excited about it. Awesome. But I remember being in the crowd, and I just like felt like the heaviness of your music, and that's so cathartic. And just like however deep and heavy you're feeling, your music matches that.
Awesome.
So I really relate to like what they're talking about, just how like dark, you know what I mean? Because like talking about depression and suicide, that's really like dark. So just knowing that there's something that dark out there that like gets you, I mean, I felt it.
That's awesome. I'm glad you like were able to feel, you're picking up what we were putting down.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah,
you're in Austin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, we're coming through there. Come and take it live.
I know. I know. It's sold out. Woohoo! Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, you guys are selling out a bunch of dates.
Well, I mean, it's not really us. It's the Black Dahlia Murder is probably doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but we draw our own crowd. So all the bands combined, make Captain Planet Band. So.
Well, I've been to like the 2 shows I was at. It was headlining Carnifex shows.
Oh, nice.
Like, not in Texas. Like one was in New York. One was in Oklahoma. So you guys, you draw big crowds. That's what I know of Carnifex. Yeah, so I don't totally accept that. I'm like,
thank you.
Nah, it doesn't really pan out for me. I don't think that at all. So let's get into some more funny questions. And I mean, let's just have fun with it. It's an annoying topic, and it's meant to be fun. So let's have fun with it.
Yeah.
Do metal genres annoy you, or do you love it? They're totally annoying, right? Because just who cares about them is like how I look at them. Genres? Yeah, because people like always just try and box people with genres, and it's like the thing they would lead with, isn't it? Just kind of annoying, like enough with all that.
Yeah, kind of. People are annoying with it. But I think that metal genres are needed to kind of, specifically describe a metal band's sound. Because if you're just like, oh, they're a metal band, it could be anyone from As I Lay Dying to, Lorna Shore, which are totally different sounds. One's super aggressive. You got like grindcore, you got deathcore, death metal. It gets really annoying how there are elitists for certain genres. Like people are like, oh, that's deathcore, I hate it. And you're like, dude, you haven't even listened to the band yet. I don't like technical death metal. I like melodic death metal. People who put themselves in boxes are annoying, but genres as a whole, I think it's a good thing. It helps break down barriers. You're able to combine different things. And it helps explain what kind of music you are to somebody who has no idea.
Well, I wasn't expecting that answer a lot, and I think it's a really good answer. So good on you. So actually, because most people are like, oh, I don't care about genres. Like, that's actually very true. So all my girlfriends are like cute non-metal girls, whatever. And one of my best friends, Natalie, I got her to go to a country rock show with me.
Nice.
And she, but she always calls it metal. So I took her to a so this is kind of proving your point. And I'm like, okay, this is a great point you make, actually. So I took her to a Blacktop Mojo show. They're country southern rock. And she always pipes in when someone asks me, like, oh, you're a metal, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, blah, blah, whatever. And she's like, I went to a metal show with her. And I'm like, Natalie, that was not metal. Stop it.
It was country.
It's like country Aerosmith kind of rock or whatever. And I'm like, Natalie, stop. That's not metal.
Man, yeah. Wow, that's pretty off. Yeah. Or when people call what's that band? Linkin Park, when they're like, "Oh, that death metal band," you're just like, "What?"
Like, I've never heard that. That's a new one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same people that call country metal. So anything that anything that's slightly aggressive is metal.
Yeah, for sure. There's been like a few times like country I would not take her to your show. Like, I'm gonna go see you guys at Come and Take It Live.
Yeah,
that show is not for her.
Oh, it would. I mean, if she wasn't terrified, it would just be mind blowing.
Yeah, like I take her to like Papa Roach or Seven Dust or something like that. You know, that's like more, generic like
it's easier to digest. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't start off with Carnifex. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, we're not really a starting off band.
No, yeah. Well, that's how I got into metal. Like, I was just a rock girl and just loved like radio rock. Started going to shows. And then I was going to so many shows, and then just my taste, like I got bored with it. So I started getting heavier. And then I got bored with that. So then I got heavier. And now I can listen to death metal like all day long. And it's just, I like listen, go to your shows and be like, I'm having so much fun. You know what I mean? So it progresses. Yeah. So you don't want to start off with Carnifex. You want to start slow and then go. It's definitely a progression.
One funny story about genres was I think we played a show in Tennessee. It was either on Summer Slaughter or maybe with Whitechapel. One of those. I think Cannibal Corpse was headlining Summer Slaughter with Nile, Suffocation. When we got off the stage down at our merch table, some guy comes up, who's an older guy, he's like, "Man, y'all are my first introduction to black metal." And we were just like, "Man, thank you so much." Just like in the back of my mind, we're like, "Oh my God." A black metal head was like, they'd freak out and be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, like black metal really is. Have you ever seen Watain?
Yeah, I've never seen them, but I've played shows after them. I've smelled them.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, the smell is so bad.
Yeah, it's very bad, but I mean, it's deliberately bad. So, I mean, there's that. I think we ran into them in like a airport in Finland or something like that too. So, it was
wild. So that's really like black metal. It's like Satan first.
Yeah. Recordings that sound like they were, you put the cassette tape in the trash can, put that in the corner of the room.
Yeah, for sure. But but I could also I could see like in his mind that was like the heaviest thing he could ever. But we digress.
It's like when people say that, it's like, thank you, I appreciate you. Mm-hmm. I don't need to correct them. They'll figure it out.
But we digress. So I was kind of looking at the tour poster earlier, and I was kind of laughing. So it's going to be, the lineup is the Black Dahlia, After the Burial, you guys, and then the logo after you on the bill, I can read is like Rivers of Nile.
Yes.
And I'm not kidding, the last metal logo, I can't read. Can you?
No, I know what it says now, but when the flyer came out, I'm like, what is that?
It's like a block.
Yeah, I mean, Undeath, I've never met those guys. I'm sure they're super cool, but their logo fucking sucks. Like, you can't, it's unreadable. So.
Like metalhead eyes. It's like.
Yeah, it just looks like a bunch of moss. So.
Yeah, I really can't read it. So I was just like, we got to talk about this because that's the big joke. But like, even I can't read it. I can't see it. It's super funny.
So I had to ask. Yeah.
Right? Like, you could see their merch. Like, everyone could be wearing their T-shirt at the show and you wouldn't know. You'd be like, you would have no idea. You never know. So I made a question out of that. Carnifex has like a super badass logo, like such cool like text. I love. If you've ever designed a T-shirt like I have, you'll say font. So, like, love the Carnifex font. What are some other metal bands logos that you really think are cool or badass?
Let me see. The Black Dahlia Murder, their logo's pretty badass.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very recognizable. Corn. I have to shout out Corn because like I know it just looks like somebody scratched it in desk in high school, but that's that was one of the that was a cool it was a cool logo. So you sat there and you scratched it in your desk in high school. So
that's very true. I always love Corn and Limp Bizkit. Like, so I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And this kind of got me into like rock and metal and like watching them on TRL.
Yeah.
But I had a crush on this boy in my 5th grade class called Jason Clark, and he really liked Korn and Limp Bizkit. So I started listening to Korn and Limp Bizkit to try and get him to like me. So that's how it was like 5th grade. Jason Clark, wherever you are. I like Korn too. I like Limp Bizkit too. Super funny.
Nice.
That's a funny fact about Korn. Yeah, that's a really good one. Like, simple works.
Yeah, it does. I mean, there's a few people mentioned Dark Funeral, Cattle Decapitation's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really. That's about it. So, somebody also asked what my favorite song off the new album, off Graveside Confessions is. And I think it's, I don't know, man. There's so many good ones. Cursed is on there. The re-recorded Cursed. Graveside Confessions is one of my favorites. It's kind of hard to just say what's your favorite one because we just wrote the whole album and we're stoked about all of them. That's why they're on the record.
What'd you say? What was the last thing you said?
Oh, I said we just wrote the record, so picking a favorite is really difficult because right now they're all our favorites because we just wrote them. So we'll see which one we don't get sick of in the next year or so.
I love that. So, are you a lyrics person or are you a straight music guy?
I'm a music guy.
Okay,
definitely.
Cool. Usually it's only the singers who are like lyrics people, and then like everyone else are like straight music people. So when you connect to like your songs, it's like really music driven, not so much lyric driven, right?
Yeah, it is. And sometimes you find out that the lyrics are really fucking stupid, and you're just like, oh, you're like, oh, you ruined the music. But other times the music, the lyrics make the music you love even better. So, and that's when you connect with, that's when I connect with like my favorite songs.
Well, you say that, but the thing about lyrics, though, and I mean, you can still make fun of anything you want, but the thing about lyrics, I've come to find out, is that the more life you live, the more the lyrics make sense. So maybe there just hasn't been some fuckery that made sense to you yet that would make those lyrics make sense, but most of the music I know, like check back like 2 years later, 5 years later, 8 years or 10 years or whatever. I like a lot of stuff from like when I was in high school, like go back and listen to it. It's like, God, right?
Yeah.
I even had that, I like watched the Netflix like pop series or something like that.
Yeah.
And even like, I don't know, I'm setting myself up here to be tragically made fun. But like even NSYNC and Backstreet Boys lyrics, like I thought were like more intense as an adult. I was like, damn, I know about that.
Well, yeah, when you can relate a specific experience to the lyrics, then they mean that much more. Sometimes you have more experiences, and then you read the lyrics later, and you're like, well, that guy doesn't know shit. These lyrics are really more dumb. But I mean, life experience definitely makes your favorite songs better.
Mm-hmm. So. I don't know. I feel like you have better insight than I do, though. I like what you say.
Thanks.
So, someone already asked you about it, and we already kind of were starting to get into that. But I was just looking at the new EP, Graveside Confessions, Pray for Peace, Seven Souls, Dead Bodies Everywhere.
It's actually
I want to leave it open ended and just kind of let you talk about those songs and like let you talk about like how they came into fruition and you know like what the songs mean to you. I kind of want to give you the floor to talk about it.
Well, all right. Let's see. Okay, so it's actually an LP. The songs we've released are, I mean, what is it? 4 tracks of, you know, it's a 15-song album. So that the whole album comes out September 3rd. Let's see. We released last year Curse, and it was basically to give everybody a taste of what the new album was going to be. So that is like our basically demo mix. So we re-recorded the guitars and and remixed it. So it's going to sound like these other songs that we just released. Like it's going to sound way better. And then let's see, we did Dead Bodies Everywhere. We covered that song. Scott came up with the idea to cover, he suggested the song, and like immediately I had all these ideas as to how to make it our own. I'm like, oh, you know how they start out with the groove? We're going to start out with the blast beat. Because you got to be able to blast over everything. So, yeah. So that song came out really, really well. We played it on this the last 2-week tour. We're not gonna play it on the Dahlia shows because we only have 35 minutes. But the headlining shows we do after the Dahlia tour for like 2 weeks, we're gonna play it again. And then we released Seven Souls. Seven Souls. Let's see. I wrote that song musically. Anyway, Scott writes all the lyrics, and that one came out really, really good. It's more of a, I guess, it's more of like the black and symphonic, like more, I guess, Dimmu Borgirish, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody even feels that, I feel it. And then we did the music video for Pray for Peace. That one's like a slower tempo song, and for me it was I was influenced by Slipknot on some of the parts. I mean, if you listen to Slipknot, I think you should definitely be able to hear it. That song's fun. It's funny. The song, as far as the BPM, the tempo, is actually our slowest song. So when we're playing it live in the context of the set, it's actually really hard to play because it's hard to like play that slow. Because I think we played we played Names Mean Nothing before it during the set, and that song, like the end part's like at 280 BPM, and then Graveside Confessions is only 190, so it's like it's like way slower. So
that's funny.
Yeah, and then
all the insight we don't know and we don't think about.
Yeah. So it's funny, like for shows, we'll play a show. We'll be like, man, I fucked up on this part and that part, and then you ask somebody who watched the show, they're like, I didn't hear any of that. You're just like, oh, well, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
So the last one is the Graveside Confessions track, the title track. Corey actually wrote that song, which is awesome because in the last couple of albums he hasn't written very much. So yeah, he wrote that, like all that song, and it's actually one of my favorites on the album. Came out really it's really fun. It came out really cool.
Nice.
We haven't actually played that yet, but we will be playing it on the Dahlia tour. So,
stuff to look forward to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then we this whole album, when we wrote it, we were kind of we lost a member. He quit. So we kind of, we're back to the core 4 of us. So we went back to that, like, to look at the first album. So we ended up re-recording 3 songs. Slit Wrist Savior, we re-recorded. We re-recorded Collaborating Like Killers, and we re-recorded My Heart and Atrophy. So those will be on the album. And if you haven't heard Slit Wrist Savior, it is badass. Like, it came out really well. It's heavier. I think it's heavier. You know,
everyone has homework now. If you haven't, yeah. I love that. That's awesome. Well, it's always funny when you feel like something's off and everyone comes up to you like, that was the best show I've ever seen, and you're like, oh, this or that or something like that. No one ever knows. Everyone's like, that was the best thing I've ever seen. That was amazing. So it's always, so thank you for that insight. So it's always like super funny, back of house to front of house, like the differences of like what you notice, what you don't notice, things like that.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, I've learned to just say thank you, because like I remember when we were touring on, I think, The Disease and the Poison. I think I had like the worst show I've ever had, and if somebody came up to me immediately after and was like, "Man, that sounded just like the record," I was like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." I didn't say that. I just said thank you. I'm like, thank you. Yeah. I appreciate like you, but you can't really go, oh, it was terrible, because then you're like, yeah, you don't know shit. That's basically what you're saying to them. So
yeah,
thank you.
I think all humans, we're all just terrible at taking compliments. Like no one like my girlfriends and I, we started doing this thing. We're so bad at taking compliments. We'll Venmo, like, if anyone is like able to take a compliment and not downplay it, we Venmo each other $1 and be like, good job, you did it, good for you.
You did it, you didn't get all weird.
And you check like your Venmo or something, and it's like, hey, thanks, or whatever. It's like, it's a great way of like encouragement or whatever, because we're all so bad at taking compliments. So I think so let's like get into like the heaviness and the darkness that I said we would go into. Carnifex's lyrics and music, it's so heavy and dark. Do you think there's light in the dark?
Yeah, there is. There's a light in relating to somebody else who's going through what you're going through. It's like, if you don't have to feel alone, because there's somebody that knows exactly what you're going through and has put it into words. So, it's you can feel like it's more of a group effort, So like that's the light at the end of the tunnel, having somebody to, relate to, instead of just thinking that you're all alone and nobody gets it. So.
Yeah. Like, your lyrics are like, they're really dark, but I think they're really important for someone who is like in such a dark place. You need to like match it on that same kind of level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like, I used to be like way, angrier when I was younger, for sure. And now like I'm pretty happy, but just like surrendering. I think like when you're in a metal pit, just like surrendering to the heaviness, of the music and of the metal, like, is so cathartic and freeing.
Yeah.
I'm not that sad anymore, but I mean, my business got hacked like 2 hours ago. It's good now, but maybe I'll be pissed about that. But I think like in happy times and sad times, it's very like therapeutic to be like completely enclosed in like that thickness of it. So.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I will say this, like, sometimes people are like, oh, the lyrics are the worst I've ever, like, they're so bad. And I'm just like, okay, well, you don't get them, and you don't have to, because, I feel like people who don't understand the depressed lyrics, I think they're lucky, they don't understand that depression because they don't have it, So, but it's not for everybody, but for whoever it is for, like, it's, it's definitely for that person. So.
Yeah, actually, that's like a really good way of looking at it. Yeah. Like, Wow. Like, I'm really happy for you that you don't understand them. Like, I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's a really great way of putting it. I love that. And I wanted to shout out Miss Metal. She's in here. Love her so much. So she's been in here with us commenting, like, hi, Miss Metal.
Yeah, she's red.
Yeah, she's my girl. I love her. Yeah. So the tour is it's like a 2-month tour, right?
I mean, with all of our dates, for us, it's like a 2-month tour. It's like 6 weeks with Dahlia. So cool. It's like a 6-week U.S. tour. It's supposed to have 2 dates in Canada. I mean, hopefully the Canadian government isn't stupid and lets us get across and get back.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, stay tuned. Well, I'll be staying tuned to your social media channels because that's that's a coin flip, right?
Yeah, right. It is. No, I mean, even if all the lockdowns weren't happening, it's still a coin flip, because the thing about Canada is like you can never guarantee getting in. There, like, there's nothing you can't pay for anything. You can't like pre-qualify for anything. You just show up, and whoever is having a bad day or a good day makes that decision. So.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah, so that's why it's like, every band's like, well, who knows? Oh, we made it. That's why every band, when they get in, they're like, we made it. The show's happening.
That's funny. Hey, 10 Foot Under has a big question. Do you want to? I'll let you ask. So, 10 Feet Under, what's your question?
10 Feet Under, a big one. It's a big one.
It's a big one. Please be appropriate. I gave you the floor. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, Eric Lancaster, Canada Customs suck.
That's funny.
Corey can't even get in. So. Really? Yeah. So we're going to be playing, if we get in, we're going to be playing with Liam from Brand of Sacrifice. So he'll be our guitarist for those 2 shows.
That's funny. That's super funny. Nice. Okay, well, I haven't seen that question pop up yet. Yeah. So what are you doing to get ready for tour? Like, how? Oh wait, hold on, Miss Metal. Oh wait, Miss Metal asked a question. Let's go with hers first, and I'll remember what I just asked you, so we can come back around to it. So let's do Miss Metal's question.
Do I feel like my drumming technique has changed on the new album? Because she feels like it's way more intense. No, I don't know. No, I think it's more that the music's a little different, So I mean, I don't think I've changed my drumming style. Maybe I have, but it's it's just what I write is a result of what the guitar riff is, So if the guitar riff is different, then my drum beat's going to be different. So I think this was more, it's a throwback to. I think it's more of a throwback to Dead in My Arms, but we're way better musicians than we were when we wrote that album. So that's kind of what it is. 10 Feet Under. What would you do if the government decided to shut down the music industry again? Like, no concerts are allowed. What are you gonna do in life? That would be fucking horrible, because this last year and a half has put everybody in our band in so much personal debt that if these shows don't happen, I don't think we're going to be in a band anymore. So, I mean, what would I do? I don't know. I've bartended. That was really good money, but I don't like working. I don't think I'd like working at nights and weekends anymore. But I mean, there's tons of stuff I can do. I don't know exactly what I would do.
Yeah, it's super funny. So I was service industry for like my entire life before I started a social media company, because I'm like, I can do the metal thing and then also do this on the side. Yeah. But like when bars shut down and stuff, it's like, that was wild when bars shut down, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I can't believe the bars allowed the government to shut them down. I mean, that's scary enough on its own. Like the government should not be able to shut somebody's business down just because they think it should be.
Yeah, it was just like I think the pandemic it was just so shocking on so many levels, of course, like in the music industry, and then like you know, the backups of the backup that you always think you'll have or will be there or something like that. That's wild.
You know? I think if they tried to shut everything down again, I think that we would just end up contacting promoters and going back to VFW halls shows again. I've talked to Scott about this, that, you know, I feel like the music industry is going to get destroyed back, and we're all going to have to start over back in VFW hall shows and house parties like back in you know, before 2008.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't think we'd accept everything being shut down.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, cool. So back to, I have a few more questions and I will let you go. But I mean, it doesn't sound awful. All of this is awful, but that actually sounds really fun. Like that would, I think I wasn't around for that. So like you think back to like all the things like you weren't really around for in like the 90s and like early 2000s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If I ever went to one, like that'd be pretty cool. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. But I like that you're thinking ahead. That is like kind of a horrible, cool idea. Yeah. That's an awful, terrible idea.
Right.
Well, yeah,
it's cool. Like, you know, we've always had to plan for worst case scenario. So
yeah. Yeah, I had I really like, I listen to Joss's podcast a lot, and like I had like one of my peers put out like my idea before I could a few days ago.
Yeah.
And I got like a little discouraged by it, but I was like, I've been listening to Joss to like talk about getting shut down time after time after time after time, like for 20 years. So, you know, like you listen to all of his stories of like, and this venue wouldn't let us in and we had to do this and they always told us no. So that's kind of like a funny, like, okay, you know, it's like, there's just stuff you got to go through.
Yeah. You know? Well, yeah. I mean, we got the venue, the Opera House in Toronto. We actually got banned from playing there after we played there on Summer Slaughter in 2010. But we've played there probably like 6 or 7 times since then. So, so you're banned until you come back.
Yeah, please come back. Please come back. That's funny. Okay, cool. So we talked about tour. What would you say a gift? What was like one thing that was kind of a gift to you this time off that you've had? You know, with COVID quarantine, like what's one positive thing you could take away from it?
I mean, this new album was a gift, I guess. You know, it didn't seem like it, but at the end of the you know, we're at the end of the tunnel. So, you know, it's one of our, you know, I feel like it's one of our best albums, and we're just really excited that we were able to write it. You know.
Awesome.
So
I love that.
Yeah, just having the time to really sit down and concentrate on writing music.
I love that. Yeah. Perfect. Yay. I feel like us being positive. We're getting really dark and then we're getting really light. It's great.
Gotta use the darkness to bring the light.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah. So I definitely do want to talk about your drum kit. So we're gonna get to that. But I was also thinking about it earlier about how there's like so much heaviness in our current state right now. Yeah. But I just like want to bring some positivity Can you like think of like one really positive human experience or interaction where you've just had like someone do something like really lovely for the band or lovely for you individually that it's like, hey, there are still good people out there?
Oh, man. Just about every show we have somebody come out and, they try to show us how much they appreciate us, and we feel it. But, somebody in Santa Cruz brought us out a canvas painting they did of the band. That was pretty cool. I know our friend Eric in Denver comes out and spends hundreds of dollars of merch and hangs out with us all day.
Yeah.
So there's so many things, like so many gifts that people have given us that we're just really grateful to anybody who cares that much.
I love that. So the fans are really.
Oh, absolutely. Like without the fans, this would really be pointless. Like it wouldn't be fulfilling at all.
I love that. That's awesome. That makes. See, there's good out there, y'all, and it's in the pit and at the shows. Yeah. So you're drummer extraordinaire. You're like a complete legend in metal. So let's talk about your kit.
My drum kit.
Right? Like, did I do it right? Like,
yeah.
He's a legend. He's a legend. Yes.
Permits me to disagree. But I see Miles. Miles is in the chat. What's up, man?
Hey.
Yeah, my kit. What do you want to know? I play a Pearl Decade Maple. Merple.
So I saw Evan's drum heads and Zildjian.
Yeah.
And I'm not a drummer. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did, actually.
Oh, great. I don't know if I've ever said it out loud, and I was like, oh my God, did I just mispronounce? Like, I've never had the opportunity to say that out loud, and I was like, oh my God, did I just mispronounce that? Okay, good.
First time.
Yeah, so, like, what do you use? And, just break it down.
Yeah, okay. Well, my kick pedals are, I use Axis A21 pedals, so Axis percussion for that. I like the way I've gotten used to the way they feel. I like how they feel. They're fast and relatively inexpensive compared to some of the other pedals that drummers are excited about right now. Let's see. I use Big Perth sticks. I've used them for a long time. Before I got my Big Perth endorsement, I used to go to Guitar Center and get the 11 pairs for $10, and like half of them were all like warped and curved. So I would do those. But yeah, I play. 5B is my size. I went down on the Summer Slaughter 2019. I played up 2B sticks. Those were nice, but they break my cymbals a little faster. I use Zildjian cymbals. They're a great company. Actually, Zildjian and Big Perth are like basically the same company now. Or wait, it's Zildjian and Pearl. I play Pearl drums. Red Decade Maple drum set. I actually had all my hardware powder coated in black, so it's ready for that kit. Very grim.
Perfect. Cool. Well, Monopoly is one of my favorite games, so love that they comboed that. That's cool. So someone wanted to know, do you play heel toe?
No, I do not.
Okay. Got it.
I know how to do it. I'm just not consistent enough to do it. So, and I feel like if I'm going to switch to heel toe, then I kind of have to change how I play. And I don't think I'm ready to do that. I'm not ready to commit.
I mean, I learned to drive wrong when I first learned to drive when I was like 16. So I drive with both feet. I couldn't do it any other way, and I've done it my entire career of driving. I imagine it's the same way.
Yeah. Well,
So,
somebody asked about the kit behind me. That's my practice kit.
Oh, cool.
The rolling kit. I have my pedals set up down there somewhere. Yeah, cool. I have these Zildjian Gen 16 cymbals. They're like metal cymbals. They're very quiet. They feel real, so it helps get ready to tour instead of hitting rubber pads.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. How many hours? So, shout out to Ollie. Rest in peace from All That Remains, because until I interviewed him, I didn't understand that artists practiced for hours and hours a day. I just didn't know that until he was talking about it. So I just I didn't have that comprehension. I was like, oh, you play like every day for like 4 or 5 hours. He's like, yeah, or more, like, or longer. And I was like, whoa.
Man, and I love that guy. That guy was rad.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I miss him so much. I didn't know, I had Aaron. Aaron was a guest at Headbangers Con, and I hung out with Ollie like 3 times, and I wasn't even best friends with him. But Aaron from All That Remains was a guest at Headbangers Con, and I was hosting and interviewing there. And I asked him, like, hey, I'm not going to go deep on it. Can I, like, do a question or two about Ollie? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I don't know what came over me, but I just, like, started bawling during the interview. And it's just, yeah, like, he was such a, like, really cool person. Yeah, like this.
Yeah. Yeah, he was great. We did a few. We did a tour with them, and then we played a bunch of shows, like one-off shows with them. And they were great every time. So.
Yeah. Just like, it really sucks the people you lose in the industry, and I wasn't even that close to him at all. He was just like so kind and so sweet, and I think that's like what got me about it, the entire thing. He was just so nice.
Yeah. No, I mean, but most musicians, like professional musicians, they practice many hours a day. You know, so they don't just walk on stage and like, yeah, you know, I haven't played a kit for like a year. Here we go. You know.
Okay, so sorry, my original question before I went off on that. So my original question, like, how long do you practice, and do you practice daily, and like how many hours do you practice? Because like now that I know that, I'm like, how long do you practice a day? I want to know. You
know. Let's see. My practice regimen, I think I practice for a couple hours a day, getting ready for a tour. Sometimes, like after tour, I'll take probably a couple weeks off and just do other stuff. But yeah, I try and practice for an hour or 2 a day, and keeping my chops up. So
perfect, nice. Well, we're about to see it on this tour coming up, so super excited about that. When does the tour kick off? I just know the Austin date.
It kicks off in Chicago on September 3rd, which is the day our album comes out. So, Ollie, it was Ollie from the old...
Ollie...
Yeah,
Ollie Herbert was his name.
Yeah.
And lead guitarist for All That Remains.
Yeah. The guy died a few years ago. Were the samples on Graveside Confessions the same as World War X? No, they're all new samples. All different ones. So.
Yeah. Nice.
Some of the things I would tell today's bands to do and not do during tour. For opening bands, don't load in until you're supposed to. Stay out of the headliner's way. Let's see. And make sure you get your band checked out from top to bottom before the tour. That's what a lot of bands don't do that, and they end up breaking down on the road, and it costs them way more money than it would if they just took two mechanics before the tour. So,
yeah. Yep. All those SOS messages we see.
Oh,
Cool.
Carnifex will stay a 4-piece for now. So.
Heyo.
Yeah.
There you go. Cool. Alrighty. Sounds good. So that's all those. Cool. I was like, that or those? I don't know words, but that's all the questions. Or those are all the questions I have. I think. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Cool. Long day. Do you have anything else you want to say to the fans?
I mean, yeah. Stream the new album. We got, I think, 4 or 5 tracks that you can already stream. And then a new album comes out September 3rd, Graveside Confessions. Check it out.
Awesome. Perfect. Thanks so much for coming on, Shawn. Thank you. This was so fun. I'm so appreciative. Thank you for coming on, answering questions with us. And I can't wait to see y'all in Austin.
Awesome.
Yay.
See you then.
All right. Talk soon. Thank you guys for tuning in.
All right. Bye.